they want, but I can't. Why is it, doc, that I can't eat? Because nobody else in my family is on a diet. Well, trust me, I feel you. Because for many years, I myself struggled when it came to changing my meal plan and when it came to changing my food style around. Now, why is that? So that's the discussion for today. Why is it that people find going on a diet, or as I like to call it, changing your food style? Why is it so difficult for people to accept those changes? Right? But before that, welcome to the Wellberry. And during this talk, if you find that it's been helpful for you, do share it with others, because as you keep sharing the information, you never know whose life you're going to touch, right? And that's the whole purpose of this channel, that people start getting to know what is good for them in terms of food, what is not, and how to make changes without really making it affect your lifestyle and your freedom of choices, right? Where food is concerned. Yeah. And the second thing, the disclaimer. As you know, that this is not a medical consultation. Yes, as a doctor, I will give my views. I'm also a nutritionist, but I am not giving people uh, a medical consultation through these videos. It's for you to get information. And once you have the information, then obviously it opens the door for more discussions with your doctor, nutritionist, or if you want to get in touch with me, then of course you can, right? And I will give you my email address so that you can mail me if you do need any clarification. Yeah, so let's get back into the topic. So today we're going to go a bit old school because I still am learning about YouTube Live. I don't know how to share screens, etc. So I'm going to use my cue cards, and I hope it's going to help you. It's definitely going to help me remember everything that I need to talk to you about, right? Yeah, so like I said, what are the 10 reasons why people find it so difficult to change their diet, to make food style changes or meal plan changes? What is standing in their way? Trust me, when it comes to having discussions, right? I've been a doctor for close to 30 years, I think now from, yeah. But have I have had challenges talking to people about continuing their medication, whether it is diabetes, hypertension. People are not always very keen on taking medicines lifetime, right? Uh, and of course, as a doctor, it always used to kind of affect me that I was not able to help people in other ways and just prescribe medication. This was one of the reasons, apart from my own health issues, which all of you know about by now. Uh, this was one of the reasons why I decided to learn more about nutrition so that I could reach out to people and help them, right? Yeah, but what I have seen, even when it came to discussions about medication and having to take medicines and the number of pills that people had to take for life, even then, the kind of defenses that people put up was not as much as they do put up when I talk to them about changing their meals, right? Changing their diet. In fact, the arguments or what should I say, the defenses that people put up are so much more, and they're so much more vehement about their choices than what I would face with people when I was talking about medicines alone. Okay, so the top 10 reasons, like I said, the first one is comfort, right? Like I said, we're going old school, so we're going with cue cards. Comfort. So when we think about food, for most of us, it is about the comfort that food gives us. So, like, think about going to your mom's house for the holidays. What is it that, apart from spending time with everybody and meeting everybody after a long time, what is the one other thing that you think of? It's about the food that your mom's going to prepare for you, right? It's about all the childhood memories and all the senses that went along with it, like sitting at the table together with your siblings, your favorite food, and you know that when you go home, your mom's going to prepare everything that you like. She's going to pamper you. So, yes, the comfort. Even if you're not visiting anybody, but at home, okay, I know that, you know, sorry, the discussion kind of got cut in between. But yeah, the fact that you are going home and you know what you have cooked for the day, or you know what you've asked your cook to prepare for you, right? So all of this goes a long way in giving you comfort where food is concerned. Even when you're sick, for example, what would you think about? You would look at whether or not uh, the food that you want to have, you don't feel like having anything else, so if you want to have a porridge, it's prepared the way that you want it. And like if you want rasam, right? Us being Indians, when we are not well, one of the things we look forward to, especially in South India, is our rasam and rice, and it gives us comfort. So one of the things that food related changes challenges is the comfort that we receive when we have our normal food which we are used to, right? Uh, if anybody is online and listening right now, just give me a thumbs up to let me know that you can hear me, because I did get a message in between and I don't know if that has kind of cancelled the quality of the sound or video, right? Yeah. So the second thing when it comes to our diet, it is that food helps us to socialize, right? When we talk about socialize, it's our family meals itself is a kind of socializing, right? Especially if we live in a joint family. So then we are looking at meeting everybody at the end of the day, sitting at the table and eating. And when we share a meal, obviously it is with conversation, it's with laughter, sometimes it's arguments and debates, but all of this is part of socializing. Even when we go out with friends. Now, today, for example, it is no longer that we only go out during the weekend, especially in cities like Bangalore where I live. Throughout the week, people are going out. There's some occasion to go out. Thursdays are the new Friday nights, right? And people are pubbing, people are going to restaurants, and again, you're socializing and you're meeting friends. And if at that time you feel that you have to make choices which are different compared to what your friends are eating or what your family is eating, then yes, it is a big, what should I say, not just disappointment, but it's actually a big irritant for a lot of people. Okay, so point number two, why people feel uh, that dieting is a challenge is because they feel that it is going to be a big block when it comes to, when it's going to be a big hurdle when it comes to socializing with others, right? Now, the third thing when it comes to dieting and why we find it difficult is because food in our country, in most Asian countries, it is a sign of love, right? And whenever we meet people, or when somebody visits us, what is the first thing we do after if a few minutes of just sitting down and chatting with them? We always talk about what we can serve them, what would they like to have. We would prepare something before they actually come and visit us. Uh, Even as we were growing up, if we remember visits to our grandparents' home, right? It was always surrounding food and what the children like and what uh, even what the adults like. And it's about sharing food. Uh, our festivals are all about sharing food, right? Having food that we associated with each festival. So yeah, when it comes to food, for many of us, it's the way in which we show love to people. Uh, Most of my friends now I may not see them, but sometimes I get to see their parents. I get to visit their parents, and one of the things that my friends always tell me is, you know what, mommy is looking forward to cooking for you. And I kind of have to tell them, you know what, now I'm very careful with what I eat, so just tell auntie that I'll come and have a cup of coffee with her and not to go out of her way and prepare something else. Yeah. So again, that's that auntie's way of showing love towards me, because she has known me uh, while I was studying, while I was, going, while I was good friends with her daughter or son, and that's the way they show love, right? Even my own mom, for that matter, she could never cook in small quantities. And in fact, I picked up that behavior from her, where I could never cook in small quantities, though it was just two of us at home. My mom's logic, every time I would ask her, like, why are you cooking so much? Her logic was always that, you know what, if we have somebody visiting us or if somebody unexpectedly comes home, there should be homemade food to give that person. Again, where was that coming from? It's a sign of love, right? Yeah. So for us, for most of us, food and sharing food is also about expressing love. And so when we tell somebody, you have to kind of change the way you eat, it also means changing the way that they show love for one another. I'll give you one example. There was a person, a lady who came to me with her mother. Her mother was diabetic. And so obviously we were talking about sweets and how we need to limit the amount of sugar that the person takes and all of that. And so her daughter tells me, you know what, mummy may be able to kind of stop sugar, but dad's going to have a problem with that. And I was like, why? Why is your dad going to have a problem with your mom stopping sugar? And she was like, because dad has the habit every day of first giving her a bite of sweet to have, and then he eats the rest of the sweet. What's that? That's his way of showing love, right? Yeah. So when we change all of that, then obviously people are going to feel a lot, they're going to feel disturbed, they're going to feel irritated because, again, it's not helping them express themselves. So my question, of course, was like, can we do it with something else like fruit instead of sweets and sugar? Yeah, but that's a discussion for another day. The fourth reason why people find diets to be a challenge is because it's a habit that's hard to break, right? Food, especially what we have been used to, whether it's for breakfast, lunch, or dinner. If you are, there are a lot of people who will tell me, you know what, doc, anything, but don't tell me to stop rice. Or there are a lot of people who will tell me, I need to have my toast in the morning. Otherwise, I just cannot, uh, you know, feel good through the rest of the day. So these are all habits that we have inculcated. These are not things that we need. It's not that we need a slice of toast every morning, but we're just so happy with it. And then when somebody is sitting down and telling you this may not be the best way to go, or maybe change the time when you're having your slice of toast, then obviously the person gets defensive, right? So some of the, like I said, some of the most aggressive debates with my patients or with my clients happens when we talk about changing the diet plan or the meal plan of the person, right? Because it means breaking lifelong habits. People may have been eating in a certain way for 20 or 30 years, and all of a sudden I'm telling them, you know what, it's time to change this. And people don't normally like it. It's not easy. And like I said, I feel you because I've been there. And sometimes I'm still there. I do wonder, why is it that everybody else can eat what they want and I can't? And then point number five, the odd one out. Now, this goes a lot with what I spoke about in terms of socializing, right? So, when we talk about being the odd one out, now I see that a lot too. Like when I go out with friends and when I tell them, you know what, no dessert for me. And all of a sudden, everybody's looking at me, okay, like, why are you not having dessert exactly? Oh, come on, one spoon of sugar is not going to make so much of a difference. Really? Okay, fine. You know what? Make up for it tomorrow. Have it today, make up for it tomorrow. So, when we kind of have these kind of discussions, we do feel a little uneasy, right? It takes a lot of getting used to when you start telling people in social situations that, you know what, I'm careful about what I eat. And this is the reason why I have to be open with people. Uh, Not everyone's going to be critical of you when you're open with them. You can tell them, see, I was pre diabetic or I was diabetic, and my doctor asked me to change the way I eat, and I need to do that because with that my diabetes is under control, or with that my autoimmune thyroiditis is under control, or my thyroid problems or whatever is under control, or I had severe knee pains, and it's only when I changed the way I started eating that the knee pain went away. So yeah, so when we are socializing, we also have to be able to give people the right reason for why we are making the kind of choices where food is concerned, right? Why we are making those kinds of choices. Yeah, it's also awkward because when you kind of make this declaration that, I'm not going to eat sugar, or I'm not going to eat something that is very, very, what should I say, fried with batter, then all of a sudden the whole focus kind of changes. Maybe before that discussion everyone was talking about a movie that they saw, or maybe they start talking about, uh, music or books or saris or whatever, and all of a sudden once you start telling them why you're not eating something, the discussion then goes from that to being about food and about the kind of diets and who they met who was doing some kind of a diet and how it worked for them. So the whole focus changes. uh, Again, it takes a little bit of time, and it takes a little bit of practice, and it takes a little bit of understanding that, you know what, it really doesn't matter what other people say. I need to do this for myself, right? Because otherwise my health is the one that's going to suffer. When you get to doing that, then even in social situations, being the odd one out is not going to matter so much. Then the sixth point, why is it that people find diets so difficult to follow? People are busy, right? Today, with women working, long hours in the office, even men working long hours in the office, if you tell people that, you know what, you have to pay attention to your food, you have to start planning ahead what you're going to have so that you're not caught in a position where you just need to kind of grab a burger or grab a pizza and have it, it's actually difficult. Today food is available at the you know uh, at the click of a button. You can order your food through Swiggy, you can order it through uh, Zomato or whatever, and it's even available right till midnight, so you can just come back from the office and order your food. Even if you're working from home, the same thing. People today, especially after COVID, many people are working from home and for long hours, right? At that point of time, telling them you have to kind of pay attention to your food and all of that, it becomes very difficult to tell them start cutting up your vegetables the day before. So yes, I'm not saying it can't be done, right? I am doing it. I'm working with so many people who are doing it for themselves. But again, it takes a little bit of commitment, a little bit of understanding of why you need to do it. And then you will be able to see that it's okay. I can still make time to take care of what I need to eat, of what my loved ones need to eat. And as busy as work can get, you will make this also, a priority. All right. The next thing why diet is such a big challenge for people is because of this belief systems, right? Uh, Again, in South India, if you tell people you don't need to have rice 3 times a day, right? Rice can also mean things like our idli and dosha in the morning. You don't need to have that 3 times a day, and people are like, "What?" And even if they started, they will have some elder in the home saying, "What? You're not eating rice? Do you know what that can do to your body?" Uh, Women who have menstrual problems, if all of a sudden, they don't have their periods on time, or if they bleed a little heavily during the periods, immediately the elder in the house will kind of tell them, "You know what? This is all because of your diet." So we have got these strong belief systems that we need to eat certain foods, and without that, our body will not survive. Actually, the fact is that our body will survive. Our body is very resilient, and it knows how to carry us through famines and disaster situations and all of that. So today, definitely, our body knows how to survive when we put the right kind of food and nutrition into it, right? So belief systems. A lot of the times, when I work with people, there is a lot of time given to kind of helping them understand what they need to do and why they need to do it, because all of us come from a lot of experiential learning where we have kind of learned about food from our elders, and then to suddenly be told that what, maybe we need to do things differently, it's not very pleasing all the time. The next reason why people kind of hate being on a diet is because sometimes they're in denial. What do I mean by denial? Okay, fine, my blood sugar is a little high, so what? It doesn't mean I can't eat sweets, it doesn't mean that I cannot eat starchy food. It's alright, people go through it, and I'll also just take a tablet and go through it. Taking tablets is fine, but the thing is that taking tablets is only addressing the symptom of the high blood pressure, or it is addressing the symptom of the high blood sugar. And most of the time, it does not even bring the sugar totally under control. That is why people with diabetes or people with hypertension, they have to keep increasing the dose of their medicines, right? Or the number of medicines that they need to take. That's because these medicines, yes, it is important. As a doctor, I agree completely that we need to take medicine at the right time and for the right reasons. But I have learned through experience that diet plays a much bigger, or at least as important a role as medicines when it comes to chronic and metabolic illnesses, right? So, denial, like I said, a lot of people say, I have a little bit of sugar, so what? I can still eat anything I want. It's not going to matter. It's not about what I eat. Okay, fine, I have pain in the body, but then who doesn't, right? It has got nothing to do with what I'm eating. And that's what a lot of people believe, and that is denial, right? Yeah, so breaking denial, that is very important when it comes to dealing with lifestyle and food style changes. The next one, when it comes to why people are so resistant about changing their diet, is that they don't have proper information. A lot of people today, especially, they try very hard to stay healthy. So some people come and tell me, I don't know why my sugar is high, because I exercise every day. I go for a long jog, or I go for an 8 kilometer walk. I go to the gym, I lift weights, but still my sugar is high. Why is that? Or people will tell me, you know what, I don't drink, but then I have fatty liver. Why is that? All right. So when we look at these kind of conversations, especially when we know what food does to the body, then we realize that people are coming, they want to do their best, but they don't have the information. They're not equipped with the kind of knowledge that is actually going to help them through the process. So if a person knows that it's not the gymming that's going to help you, gymming or lifting weights, going for a jog, all of it has its place in insulin resistance or in correcting metabolic diseases. It does, because it helps the muscles absorb glucose better, the glycogen conversion is better, the insulin resistance comes down. But it is secondary to the diet, all right? If your diet is not correct, then all the exercise in the world is not going to help you with the process. When you're younger, yes, it can to a great extent, but as you grow older, it is always going to be that your diet comes first and then comes exercise, right? And finally, the last point as to why people find it so difficult to follow a diet is because maybe they just don't care. There are people, right, who will say, you know what, I don't care if I have diabetes, I have one life, and I'm going to enjoy everything that I want to enjoy. I'm going to eat what I want to eat, and I'm not going to let anybody tell me otherwise. Now, in such cases, obviously, there's nothing that we can do. We can educate the person, we can continue to kind of dialogue with them every time they come to us, but we have to allow them to make up their minds, right? Now, in this, in the description, I did promise you that I will give you one tip, all right, when it comes to food style changes, and let us see whether you could do that for at least 30 to 45 days, and then see what kind of health related changes you experience. Many of you have already guessed it, but for those of you who haven't, I am challenging you for the next 45 days, completely stay off sugar. I know many people will tell me I just have 1 teaspoon of sugar in a day. But let me also ask you this, okay? Uh, if I tell you as a doctor, every day have paracetamol 650 milligrams, no matter what, every day have 650 milligrams of paracetamol once a day, and it's going to kind of prevent you from having fever and body pain and all of that. How many of you will do it? Not everybody. I think not most people, because today people know that too much of paracetamol taken over a prolonged period of time can damage the liver, and it has other side effects as well, so they will not do it. But if I tell a person stop sugar for the next 45 days, they'll tell me, but I just take 1 teaspoon of sugar, how much of a difference is it going to make? It's like saying, I just take one paracetamol 650 every day. How much of difference is it going to make? Right? Sugar is inflammatory, and every day, if you're putting an inflammatory substance into your body, all right, is it not going to affect you? Every day, if you're having 1 teaspoon of sugar, or if you're having 1 teaspoon of jaggery, which is again another form of sugar, is that not going to affect you? Right? You're putting an inflammatory substance into your body, and you expect your body not to have inflammation. How does that work? So stop sugar completely, not even your 1 teaspoon of sugar. All right. For those who have a fantastic metabolism, have no issues, don't have inflammation, no pain, no diabetes, no high blood pressure, fine, go ahead. That's great for you, and I'm happy for you. But for those of you who have diabetes, or who have a lot of joint pains, I would really recommend that for the next 45 days you completely stay off sugar, okay? Because you do get sugar from other foods, like your vegetables, your fruits, all of it has sugar. So go off the white sugar, the jaggery, and everything else that you use to sweeten your tea or coffee, and then see what how is your body responding, right? So uh, if you start feeling more energetic, if you start feeling that the pain in your knees and your joints have reduced, then obviously that gives you enough impetus, or that gives you the motivation to continue continue the same habit forever, right? Yeah. So that's it for today. I hope this talk has been helpful, and I hope there haven't been too many glitches like last time. And I'll see you next time with another video. Until then, this is Dr. Nirmala signing out. And remember that wellness begins with your plate. Bye.